Man, I miss using OBS. I'm just going to say that right from the offset here. Hi, welcome back to another episode of Tech is Art. This is a very special episode because I am doing everything, literally everything different, and I don't even know if this is actually going to work. So let me just tell you right from the offset what I'm doing. I'm recording all of this on my iPad right now, or specifically the audio. I found a way to make this audio record directly into LumaFusion, the video editing app that I use. And I found out there's this voiceover feature, so I'm trying it out. And there's a auto mono setting. So if you watched my last 2 or 3 videos, I was talking about how there's this. Well, I definitely talked about this in the last video, that there's an audio offset where everything is just coming out of the left channel in the playback, which I don't know why. But I found mono for a setting where everything is just center. My voice is center, and we're going to try this out. I hope this works for the long period of time. But because I don't know, this is the very first time I'm ever trying this right now on the spot, and I just found out right now on the spot. I am also doing a fail-safe backup right here on my iPhone, doing voice memo here. So worst case scenario, if the iPad fails and my audio fails here, I still got my iPhone audio recording. So let's see if this works. I'm going to talk today about this whole iPad situation, and at the end of this episode, if everything looks good, then cool. If you're watching this on YouTube and not listening to on the podcast app, then I am still recording directly onto my SD card that I have into my Sony right now. And this is why I miss OBS, because I have this little playback that I can see off into the distance, and it's low-key kind of aggravating. So I'm wearing my glasses right now if you're watching on YouTube, because I am trying to watch my playback as best as I can. So maybe I need to get an actual monitor. This has really made me think about how I can streamline my production here by having a few more accessories and peripherals from my gear. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. But okay. If you have missed any of my videos this week so far, leading up to you just listening to this episode, then I went to an iPad. Right here, kind of off screen, I am now using an iPad exclusively. I am running this whole channel off of an iPad directly. And oh my God, this is really nerve-wracking. I'm saying this honestly, nerve-wracking, because I'm not used to this. I'm used to running everything off of my MacBook Pro right here. I miss this thing. But I will also say I am learning lessons in live time, actually, using a new iPad. I'm not using the one I've had for 6 years. I'm using a brand new iPad. Well, brand new to me. This is an M1 iPad. And there is a night and day difference in production value just switching over to an M1 chip iPad. I am actually in live time using the product. I am understanding the bigger, greater vision of iPad and how it can be a PC replacement. But when we talk about just regular computing, we kind of knew this already, right? Like I knew this. I'm sure you knew this if you're listening, watching, right? Like we knew for basic computing, you could do this off of your phone. You don't need to do this on an iPad. But that's not what the challenge is. Not for me. In my use case, and I can only speak for me and my own experiences, I am talking from the stance of a full-on, full-fledged content creator, a YouTuber, a podcaster, a musician, a producer. Can this iPad do all of that? We're now this is technically day 2, right? I'm now 2 days into this whole production, so we'll see. I'm going to run with this iPad exclusively. My goal is to do this for a month. I'm going to talk about things I actually haven't talked about in the in the either of the videos I've covered so far. Man, this is actually a really good episode. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is a really good episode to tune into because I'm going to talk about a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I'm not covering so far in those videos. First thing, I bought this off of Amazon, the new iPad, the M1 iPad Pro. I bought this off of Amazon, and I bought this off of the I'm so used to saying certified refurbished. Renew. It's called Renew. Amazon Renewed. And Amazon Renew gives you 90 days before you can return it. I've used them once before, 2 years ago. 2 years ago? 2 years ago. When I was running with was it 3 years ago? I don't remember. 2 or 3 years ago, I used it when I bought the over-ear headphones, the AirPods Max. AirPods Pro Max? What is those things called? I don't even remember. Is it AirPods Max or AirPods Pro Max? I don't remember. But anyway, doesn't matter. Oh, my utility closet's making noises right now, so it might get picked up on the mic. I apologize, but oh well. The thesis of how the Tech is Art podcast is ran is still the same, where it's raw, it's mostly unedited. This is going to be interesting to edit and post, but mistakes and all. You guys get this completely unedited, but I've used Amazon Renew before, and I like the service. And I haven't just used it with the intent of returning products. I've actually used it to buy some tech gear that I didn't necessarily need to buy brand new. Not everything needs to be bought brand new. That's something I do believe in, and I kind of put my money where my mouth is. A couple years ago when I bought the AirPods Pro Max. I really don't remember the name of the thing. And I would check, but both of my devices are in use right now. But anyway, when I bought it before, I bought it with the intent of keeping the AirPods, the over-ear AirPods. But I ended up returning it because even at a substantial discount, I could not justify personally my own. I can't justify dropping a lot of money like that. And likewise with the iPad Pro, let's see. The difference between using the AirPods and using an iPad is actually that of utility. I have these headphones. These are over ears. I use for actual like audio production, and I have AirPods Pro, like the in-ears, right? So I didn't need the over ears. I just prefer over ears over in ears personally. But it was never a need. But if the iPad can actually run my production, this whole operation smoothly, that does become a need. So I kind of bought this with the intent of keeping, but I'm pretty sure I am not going to keep it because I already came into this with a bias that I have against iPadOS. I don't trust iPadOS. I don't like iPadOS. I don't prefer iPadOS. And just within the last 2 days, I am already learning so much where I'm like, oh, my resentment might have been slightly misplaced, mainly because I'm using a 6-year-old device now. And that's something I would not have known this unless I jumped headfirst into this experiment. So I'm going at this honestly for a review, but I also want to be honest in the sense of telling you that this is a review. I don't know if I'll keep it. I doubt I will. But everything I've done so far on the iPad, I'm actually really liking. So I'll tell you this much. I could see a scenario where my operations change way more intentionally with using the iPad over this preconceived notion that iPadOS sucks. Is it still baby OS? I might have been a little harsh to say that, because if it was a baby OS, I could not do what I'm doing now. But is it streamlined and is it efficient off of macOS? No. This whole thing, I wish I could run my iPad on the studio display with a USB-C hub and this mic would work through the hub but it doesn't. I think there's too many degrees of separation. It's not communicating well. It may be because it needs to draw power directly. Because when I plug the hub into the display, my headphones still work, but the mic doesn't. But this is a very powerful mic that I use. And my backup, my redundancy is using the voice memo app here, but I am recording audio directly from the iPhone mic. So it's not the best, but it's way better than using the audio on the onboard mic for the Sony cam, which I showed an example of what that would sound like in one of the videos this week, and it does not sound good. It doesn't sound good. So I would much rather never post this episode if something goes wrong than use the audio on that camera. But I might be able to do like a lav mic or something. I'm thinking now that a lav mic is a wireless mic I'll attach to my shirt, and then I can plug that into the Sony. That's something I've been thinking about. But then I would move away from this mic. I don't know. There's a lot of production things I've been thinking about. And what I like about this experiment is that the test has really made me evaluate how I can run things, or maybe perfect things if I was using macOS. If I was to record, I'll give you an example. This is what I mean specifically. Recording on the Sony gives me a 4K footage, like a very clear footage. If you watch the last 2 videos on the channel, they go up to 4K, and mainly because I didn't know how to export it at a lower resolution in Luma, so that's on me, user error. And it took a very long time to upload. But also, I like that it wasn't this compressed, like kind of blocky footage I've seen before through OBS. But OBS, man, I don't care. I love OBS. OBS gives me a very small file with audio and video recorded into it directly, and blockiness be damned. It's quick. It's a small file. It's a very small file, and I can upload that very quickly to YouTube. And I like that more because it's efficient, and no one's ever said, "Oh man, the quality's not good here." If anything, I keep getting praised about the quality because of my production design, my studio set. Right? Like right now you're looking at the background, which I want to address these lights really quickly. I don't know if I've said this before or not, but this was an Easter egg right here. These lights that are being used right now, instead of the typical purple and pink, I'm using these colors because these are the literal colors used for iPadOS 18. In the actual promo, in the Philips Hue app, you can upload a photo, and it will take colors from that and match your color dynamic. And so this is a direct reflection of the iPadOS 18 color scheme. All right, my audio is still recording. I'm just testing. My screen went dark on the iPhone, but everything looks fine. So exactly how you're seeing this right here, this is very, very intentional. I did that on purpose because I knew after Dub, like shortly after Dub, when I posted my I Understand iPadOS video, I knew I needed to test iPadOS on a newer device. It's the only way I can give it a fair assessment. That's it. It was the only way I could be fair about this, because I have my preconceived notions, and they might have been fair back in 2018 when I bought the iPad, the one I actually own. Actually, I guess I own both, but my oldest iPad Pro. Oh man, there's a spider. You guys don't know this, but when I did the 12-inch MacBook video, I was looking off frame in between my cuts because there was a spider, and there's another spider in my basement. I don't like spiders. I don't even know if it's not being seen on the camera, but anyway, oh man, I lost my train of thought of what I was saying. But I knew I needed to test iPadOS because my feedback of what I was saying is going off of a device that's from 2018, which is 6 years ago. And my assessment on iPad would have made sense, I think, all the way up until like 2020, let's say 2022. 2021, 2022, let's say that. So probably, and coincidentally, right when the M-chip iPad came out, I said I should now try that. And that's what this is. And that's why I got the M1. I I got the M1 because I think that's when I should have started assessing the iPad again. And I didn't. Because admittedly, there's nothing wrong with the iPad that I have with the A12X chip for what it does. But I didn't realize that for what it does right now, it's not it's not up to date, I guess. And what I mean by that is I noticed just turning on the iPad, this boots up way quicker, the M1 iPad. Even moving files, uploading, downloading, even just internet connection is more stable because I have a stronger Wi-Fi. The hardware to use Wi-Fi is more up to date in here. Like I think this runs 5G. I'm pretty sure. Well, no, this one doesn't because I don't have cellular. But my point is that like things have been updated. Whereas like my 2018 iPad, that was just an LTE and I don't know, Wi-Fi 4, maybe something like that. Wi-Fi 3, I don't know. But I realized that what I'm using, it's good for the stuff that I use it for, like the apps, like Procreate, like my baby cam, my monitor cam, my nanny cam I have for in my son's room. But it's not good for the creation, the content creation, which is why I can understand why Final Cut doesn't work on that iPad. So I had an aha about like I should try an M chip iPad, and I like using M1 specifically because my MacBook Pro here is also an M1. It's an M1 Pro, so this device is the same generation chip as the iPad, except this is a Pro, and this is obviously stronger than the iPad, better, more efficient. With drawing power. I literally have nothing wrong to say about the iPad Pro. I love this thing. It's my favorite device for my still favorite operating system. But when it comes to hardware, I've loved the iPad hardware for what it is. And I wanted to give it a modern fair shake. And guys, holy shit, like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean it. Is that my first curse word? I think that might be my first curse word because I'm not going to cut it out. But anyway, this is I was more shocked about what was happening here than I actually thought. Like the iPad is running exactly how I imagined in my brain back in 2018. This one is running like that. I am loving the iPad. I'm taking it with me even more seamlessly as a tablet, as a slab. I just take it off the dock. I take it with me throughout the house. And I'm just uploading videos to the youtube.com studio where I can have actual editing control over it and upload the podcasting and stuff like that. And it's just done. I love that. But I don't love the additional steps I have to do through everything. Not just in engaging with the interface. There are multiple steps now that used to be one step on macOS. I don't love that, but I also don't love the fact that like I have to bring my hub, my USB-C hub, which if you had a USB-C only MacBook, you would have to do that anyway, but I have to bring my hub. And then I also have to bring. I found a hack here. Make sure I'm still recording. I am. I bring my external SSD here, and I offload these 4K videos onto here after they post to YouTube. I was trying to airdrop it before I realized I was like, oh wait, I have an SSD, an external one. I was trying to airdrop 4K footage that was like 13 or 14 gigs from the iPad to the MacBook to offload it, and it was just a mess. It filled up my iCloud storage, obviously. It did all this stuff. I was like, man, this sucks. This really sucks. But I forgot I could just, go a little analog here about it, and I did. Another reason why I went with an M1 iPad Pro is because I did not want to update my accessories, knowing that I'm probably going to return this device after somewhere between 30 and 90 days. Like there's more than a 60 or 70% chance I'm going to return it. I didn't want to buy a keyboard and a pencil brand new for an M4 variant when it's like, well, that's a lot of money that I don't need to be dropping just to run this test. Because even though I thought that my 2018 iPad is fine, and I still think it is, I know my Apple Pencil, regular Apple Pencil, Gen 2, right? Isn't it? And the Magic Keyboard. I know those are fine. So I don't like the having to upgrade the whole accessory. But I also kind of get it. I don't think they're trying to force upsell things now. Understanding what I'm doing with the iPad today as my primary, as my only, I understand that maybe certain things do require updates. I don't feel the same way about accessories though, like the pencil and the keyboard. No, I'm good. I'm gonna stick with this. It's a lot of money to make this your primary computer, because if you do make this your primary computer, you are definitely well within your MacBook territory of pricing. And I think, well, I believe, and I think there's enough of me ranting about it and anyway, I feel macOS is the superior operating system, obviously, but say you're not of that generation, because I'm an older guy. I'm in my 30s. I grew up on computers before tablets and smartphones. So you're more comfortable with the touch UI over a GUI, the graphical user interface, right? The iPad definitely makes sense for a newer, younger generation. I don't know if it would be Gen Z, maybe Gen Z. I can see Gen Z being the transitionary generation to use this. Millennials like myself, I'm too stuck in my ways, but I can appreciate it for what's happening here. But Gen Z, I can see them using an iPad as their only computer. And then Gen Alpha, that's my son. I think he's in that range. So I think we're still, anybody being born today is Gen Alpha. I don't know if he'll use ever a GUI computer. Maybe he will. I mean, if my kid is going to learn regardless, just out of historical purposes, he's going to learn about it, just as he's going to learn about my music, or just music in general, a keyboard and guitar and stuff like that. So I think he's just going to understand it for watching dad do it. But I think I could see him going to school and they issuing iPads or some type of tablet. I could see that being a thing. So in that sense, I totally understand where the iPad today is a PC replacement, the post PC. If anything, I will go even a step further and say that maybe this is the vision Steve Jobs was picturing someday in the future, far into the future, long after he's been gone. This is his vision of what the iPad could have done. And if that's the case, I'm for it. I think I'm more excited about the M4 chip now, but there's just those little, I don't know, those hiccups, those speed bumps that make me have to do these redundancies, like recording on this and recording on my phone, because I don't know what's going to happen. Because I'm scared that these things aren't optimized. But that's out of fear of me using a brand new operating system in a brand new way. I'm not scared at all about macOS. I trust everything about macOS. But what's funny is I trust virtually everything about iOS. And if iPadOS is the in between the two, really it's just enhanced iOS, then why don't I trust it? I had all these are the thoughts, guys. These are the thoughts about why I wanted to give this a go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just crazy or if I'm bored. I don't think I'm bored. I don't have enough time to be bored in my life, mainly because of my my just my private life, right? And there's a lot of stuff to do. It's not that I'm bored, and I'm not bored with tech. I just felt like if I'm going to make certain assertions about iPad OS, and my most popular videos are of the iPad, I should commit to the opposition of my stance and behave as if this is my only computer. And then I will know for sure, inside and out, definitively, with confidence, I will tell you that the iPad needs Mac OS, or that iPad OS is flawed, or it'll be the opposite. Maybe I'll say, like, never mind, I was wrong. And so far, I'm not wrong. Everything is working as intended. Wait, hang on. Let me rephrase. So far, I am wrong in the sense that I didn't think all this could hold up, because this would not hold up on my 2018 iPad Pro. And now my realization lies with that of an Apple Silicon chip, something as powerful as an M1 chip. Now, there's a blurred line here, because the A12Z chip could have very easily done. That was basically an M1 chip without being an M1 chip. So where's that blurred line about when does this stop working? Because I know on my 2018 iPad, applications would crash if I was trying to do this. Because I may or may not have tried to do this before in the past on my 2018 iPad, and it wasn't working. But it's working now, and I don't know, like, when is the chip that much more efficient? And those are just questions I don't know if I actually have, like, actual answers for. These are just things that I think about. I love the fact that the iPad is not dying. Like, the battery isn't draining quickly. The 2018 iPad battery, it's not that it's shot or nothing like that, but it drops percentages, by the minute sometimes, depending on what I'm doing. And at the brightest screen display of that thing, oh God, the spider is moving. Oh God. At the brightest that my 2018 iPad could do, looks like less than half the brightness of what the new iPad can do. And I know this brightness is terrible compared to the new M4 iPads. So there's definitely technological advancements happening. Maybe not every single year, but there is a good gap. So I think one of the lessons I'm learning and taking away from here is that of allowing a couple years to pass before you upgrade to actually appreciate the upgrade. Because if you were to give me this M1 iPad and tell me, like, oh, this is the brand new iPad, I would believe you, because it runs so much more smoothly than the 2018 version. So I'm learning just in my own experience here. I don't like how long it takes to upload videos, but at the same time, I haven't really filmed 4K and exported 4K. I filmed 4K on my Sony through OBS so I can have a clearer image, but it downscales it to 1080p. And then the file size is relatively manageable. I can just upload those things quickly. I'm going to try for this episode, this video, if you're watching on YouTube, I am going to try to make this video down to a 1080p so I can upload it quicker and see what that looks like. And I'm going to do that from the comfort of my bed, because while I'm recording, I took my Thunderbolt cable from the studio display and I plugged it into the power pass-through on the Magic Keyboard, and now my iPad's at 100%. So, sweet. But I do wish that I could do this more, I don't know, more like Mac. I want this all to be pushed to my studio display. But I was talking about this, that in my last video, that I think my hub is just not the right hub, I guess. That rumor has it that an Apple USB-C hub might be able to fix this. I hope. I really hope. Because if I can just run my preamp through the hub while also having the studio display connected, or something to this effect, then I know I could do more. I can search things while I'm recording. I could just test. I'm stress testing the iPad. I'm not gonna buy, hundreds, like $500 worth of accessories for a new keyboard and pencil for an iPad Pro that I would return at the end of it. But I'll drop, I don't know, $30 or whatever it is for a hub if it fixes it. So I'm gonna stress test this, and I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna keep posting shorter videos for the time being when I have something to show with the iPad. I miss my continuity cam. That's another thing I miss about macOS. I miss my continuity cam. I miss screen sharing so I can show you things. Everything has to be filmed in post during post on my phone. I don't like that. So there are innate advantages that there is definitely that I don't think can just be substituted from macOS. I miss screen sharing. I miss continuity cam. I miss my MacBook, if I'm being honest. I miss my MacBook. But I am thoroughly and utterly, genuinely impressed how efficient and how powerful this iPad is to run my channel, to run my show. Wow. So, we'll see. We'll see what's to come from this. And hopefully I'll know before that spider gets to me and eats me. All right, guys. I'm going to end it here. Short episode today. Well, I'm filming it tonight. I don't know when this goes up, but there's more thought process about why I did what I did. So hopefully you better understand with me. And if there's something you would like me to test that I'm not thinking about, something you want me to either stress test or give a comparison to a Mac, whatever that may be, if you have thoughts for me to try out from my perspective that you want to hear through my analysis on it, let me know, please. I'll be happy, more than happy to run those tests while I am in this new stage of running this experiment. Okay. This was fun. This is in lifetime with testing. The pinnacle of me saying tech is art, and we're all connected by it. Oh, like my favorite hardware is the iPad because of the aesthetic of it and the simplicity of it. There's art behind this iPad, and there's some very powerful tech that's happening behind this iPad. And that's a beautiful thing, because tech is art. All right, guys. You have a good one. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.